Have you ever noticed something strange? You can be sitting in a beautiful place, surrounded by people you love. Everything in your life may look perfectly fine. But inside your mind, there is still noise. A conversation you had yesterday. A mistake you made years ago. A fear about something that hasn't even happened yet. Your body is here, but your mind is somewhere else. And the most surprising part? Most people spend their entire lives living this way, without realizing they are missing the only moment they ever truly have. The present moment. Because think about it, the past is already gone. The future hasn't arrived. The only place where life actually exists is right now. But why is it so difficult to stay present? Why does our own mind create stress, overthinking, and unnecessary suffering? And is it possible to finally experience peace without changing your entire life? According to Eckhart Tolle, the answer is yes. In his life-changing book, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, he explains that the biggest obstacle between you and happiness is not your situation. It's your relationship with your own mind. This book doesn't teach you how to become richer. It doesn't teach you how to become more successful. It teaches you something much deeper, how to stop being controlled by your thoughts, and start experiencing life as it is. Because sometimes, the greatest transformation doesn't happen when you change your world, it happens when you change the way you see it. Stay until the end, because lesson number 7 reveals the secret behind true happiness, and once you understand it, you may never look at your thoughts the same way again. And if you enjoy videos that turn the world's most powerful books into simple life lessons, take 1 second to subscribe. Every week, we break down ideas that can help you think better, live better, and understand yourself on a deeper level. Now, let's begin. Lesson 1. Your mind is not you. Imagine you are sitting quietly in your room. Everything is peaceful. But suddenly, a thought appears. What if something goes wrong? What if I fail? What if people don't accept me? And within seconds, your peaceful moment disappears. Your heart starts feeling heavy. Your body reacts. Your mood changes. But here's the interesting question. Who created that fear? And who is watching that fear happen? Think about it. If you can notice your thoughts, doesn't that mean there is a part of you that is separate from those thoughts? Eckhart Tolle explains one of the most powerful ideas in The Power of Now: you are not your mind. Your thoughts are something you experience, but they are not who you truly are. Most people live their entire lives believing every thought that appears in their mind. A negative thought comes, and they accept it as truth. A fearful thought comes, and they believe they are in danger. An angry thought comes, and they become angry. But thoughts are constantly changing. One moment you feel confident. The next moment you doubt yourself. One day you feel excited about life. Another day you feel completely lost. If you were your thoughts, then who would be watching all these changes? The real you is the awareness behind your thoughts. The silent observer. Imagine sitting beside a river. The water keeps moving. Some moments it is calm. Some moments it is full of waves. But you are not the river. You are the person watching the river flow. Your mind is like that river. Thoughts come and go. Some are beautiful. Some are uncomfortable, but you don't have to become every thought that enters your mind. This simple understanding can completely change your life. Because many people suffer. Not because of what is happening around them, but because they are constantly trapped inside their own mental stories. For example, someone sends you a message. They don't reply for hours. Immediately your mind creates a story. Maybe they're upset. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe they don't care anymore. But the reality? You don't actually know. Your mind created a story. And then you started suffering because of that story. This happens every day. We don't suffer only from reality. We suffer from the meaning we attach to reality. Eckhart Tolle says that when you learn to observe your thoughts, you create space between yourself and your mind. And in that space, you find freedom. Because a thought can only control you when you believe you are that thought. The next time your mind creates fear, try something different. Don't fight the thought. Don't judge yourself. Simply notice. Say, interesting, my mind is creating this thought. That small shift changes everything. Because the moment you observe a thought, you are no longer completely controlled by it. And this leads to one of the biggest questions of life. If our mind is always pulling us into the past, or pushing us into the future, where can we actually find peace? The answer is hidden in something we often ignore. The present moment. Lesson 2. The present moment is all you truly have. Think about the last time you felt completely happy. Maybe it was during a simple moment. A conversation with someone you love. A peaceful walk outside. Listening to your favorite song. Watching a beautiful sunset. Notice something interesting. During those moments, your mind wasn't focused on yesterday. I wasn't worrying about tomorrow. You were completely there. You were in the present. And that's why those moments felt so alive. Eckhart Tolle explains that the present moment is not just another moment in time. It is the only place where life actually exists. Think about it. The past exists only as memories. The future exists only as imagination. But your actual experience, your actual life, is happening right now. Yet most people rarely experience it. They are physically present, but mentally somewhere else. They are eating food, but thinking about tomorrow's problems. They are talking with their family, but checking their phones. They are experiencing life, but their attention is trapped inside their thoughts. Imagine spending an entire vacation worrying about your return to work. The vacation ends, and you realize you were never truly there. You were physically at the beach, but mentally in the future. This is one of the biggest reasons people feel exhausted. Not because life is always difficult, but because the mind is constantly creating problems that don't exist at the moment. Eckhart Tolle explains that most human suffering comes from resisting the present. We think, I will be happy when I get more money. I will be peaceful when my problems disappear. I will enjoy life when everything becomes perfect. But life never becomes perfectly arranged. There will always be something changing. Something unexpected. Something uncertain. If your happiness depends on everything being perfect, you will always be waiting. The present moment teaches you something different. It teaches you that peace is available now. Not after you achieve your goals. Not after everyone understands you. Not after your problems disappear. Now. This doesn't mean you should stop planning for the future. Planning is useful. Learning from the past is useful. But the problem begins when your entire life becomes trapped in memories and worries. A person who constantly lives in the past misses the present. A person who constantly worries about the future also misses the present. And the present is where your entire life is happening. Think about a flower. A flower doesn't worry about blooming tomorrow. It doesn't compare itself to another flower. It simply exists. It receives sunlight. It grows. It experiences this moment. Humans are different because we have powerful minds. But sometimes, that same mind becomes the reason we cannot enjoy the life we already have. The practice is simple. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, come back to this moment. Notice your breathing. Notice your surroundings. Notice the sounds around you. Bring your attention back from the imaginary world in your mind to the real world in front of you. Because the present moment is not something you create. It is something you return to. And when you learn to live here, You discover something powerful. You don't need to escape your life to find peace. You need to become fully present inside it. But here's the surprising part. Even after learning to stay present, your mind will still create thoughts, memories, fears, judgments. So the question becomes, how do we deal with these thoughts without letting them control us? Lesson 3. Stop fighting your thoughts. Have you ever tried to force yourself to stop thinking? Maybe you were lying in bed, trying to sleep. But suddenly, your mind started replaying conversations, creating imaginary problems, and remembering things you wished you had done differently. So you told yourself, stop thinking. Clear your mind. Why can't I just relax? But something strange happens. The more you try to fight your thoughts, the stronger they become. Why? Because resistance gives them energy. Imagine standing in front of the ocean and trying to stop every wave from coming. Impossible, right? The ocean naturally creates waves. Your mind naturally creates thoughts. The problem isn't that thoughts exist. The problem is that we fight them and believe every single one. Eckhart Tolle explains that many people spend their lives in a constant battle with their own minds. They try to control every thought. They try to remove every uncomfortable emotion. They try to create a perfect mental state, but this creates even more stress. Because life was never designed to be controlled completely. The mind is a tool. A powerful tool. It helps us solve problems, learn new things, plan for the future. But when the mind controls us, it becomes a source of unnecessary suffering. Think about a person who feels nervous before an important event. Maybe a job interview, a presentation, a difficult conversation. A normal thought appears. What if I make a mistake? Instead of simply noticing the thought, they begin fighting it. Why am I nervous? I shouldn't feel this way. I need to stop feeling anxious. Now there are two problems. The original nervousness and the stress created by fighting the nervousness. This is something Eckhart Tolle explains beautifully. What you resist often continues to disturb you. But what you accept begins to lose its power. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop improving yourself. It means you stop wasting energy fighting the reality of this moment. Imagine holding a small ball underwater. You can push it down. You can keep controlling it. But it requires constant effort. The moment you release it, it naturally comes back to the surface. Thoughts and emotions work similarly. When you constantly push them away, they keep returning. But when you observe them calmly, they begin to pass. This is why meditation and mindfulness practices are so powerful. Not because they remove all thoughts, but because they teach you that thoughts don't have to control you. You can notice a thought without becoming that thought. You can experience sadness without believing your entire life is sad. You can experience fear without allowing fear to make every decision for you. This small distance between you and your mind is where freedom begins. The next time a difficult thought appears, try something different. Instead of saying, "Why am I thinking this?" simply say, "I am noticing this thought." Instead of, "I shouldn't feel this emotion," say, "This emotion is here right now." You are not fighting anymore. You are observing. And when you stop fighting your inner world, something incredible happens. You create space. Space to choose. Space to respond. Space to experience peace. Because the goal is not to create a mind with no thoughts. The goal is to stop being a prisoner of your thoughts. But this leads us to an even deeper question. Why do certain thoughts create so much suffering? Why can one memory from years ago still affect our happiness today? Why can something that isn't even happening right now feel so real? The answer reveals one of the biggest lessons in the power of now. Lesson 4. Most suffering is created by the mind. Imagine this. Two people experience the exact same situation. They both lose an opportunity they wanted. One person thinks, "This is disappointing, but maybe something better will come." The other person thinks, "My life is ruined. Nothing ever works for me. I always fail." Same event. A completely different experience. Why? Because suffering is not created only by what happens. It is also created by the story we attach to what happens. Eckhart Tolle explains that the human mind has a powerful ability. It creates stories. And sometimes, those stories create more pain than reality itself. Think about a simple example. Someone makes a small mistake at work. The mistake itself may be fixed in a few minutes. But then the mind begins. What will people think of me? What if my boss loses respect for me? What if I fail in the future? One small moment becomes a huge emotional burden. Not because of what happened, but because of the mental story created afterward. This happens constantly. Many thoughts work the same way. They create emotional reactions. Even when there is no immediate danger. The mind creates a story. And we forget we are watching a story. We believe we are the story. This is why Eckhart Tolle teaches the importance of awareness. When you become aware of your thoughts, you stop automatically following them. You start seeing. Maybe this is just a thought. Maybe this fear is not the complete truth. Maybe there is another way to see this situation. That awareness creates freedom. Because you cannot always control what happens in life, you cannot control every person's actions. You cannot control every unexpected event. But you can change your relationship with your thoughts. You can choose whether you allow every thought to control your emotions. Remember, pain is a natural part of life. Everyone experiences loss. Everyone experiences challenges. Everyone experiences difficult moments. But unnecessary suffering often comes from fighting reality. Or carrying yesterday's pain into today. The present moment doesn't remove all problems. But it gives you the strength and clarity to handle them. Because when you are fully present, you deal with the real problem. Not the 100 imaginary problems created by your mind. And this brings us to the next powerful lesson. If our thoughts are not always the truth, then how do we learn to see them clearly? How do we become aware without judging ourselves? Lesson 5. Learn to observe without judging. Have you ever noticed something about your mind? It is constantly creating opinions. This is good, this is bad. I like this. I hate this. I should be better. I shouldn't feel this way. Almost every moment. Your mind is judging your experience. And the interesting part? Most people don't even realize it. They believe these judgments are simply reality. But Eckhart Tolle explains something powerful. The moment you become aware of your thoughts, you create distance from them. You are no longer completely controlled by the voice inside your head. Imagine sitting in a quiet room. A thought appears. I am not good enough. Most people immediately accept it. They think, yes, that's true. Something is wrong with me. But what if you looked at it differently? What if you simply noticed? Interesting. My mind is creating a thought that says I am not good enough. That small change creates a completely different experience. The thought is still there. But it no longer has the same power. You are observing it. Not becoming it. This is one of the most important practices in the power of now. Learning to become an observer. Think about watching clouds in the sky. One cloud appears. Then another. Some are dark. Some are beautiful. But you don't try to grab every cloud. You simply watch them pass. Your thoughts are similar. Some thoughts are positive. Some thoughts are negative. Some thoughts are helpful. Some thoughts are unnecessary. But you are not required to chase every single one. The problem begins when we attach our identity to our thoughts. A person thinks, I failed. And suddenly it becomes, I am a failure. A person thinks, I made a mistake. And suddenly it becomes, I always make mistakes. The mind takes one moment and turns it into an identity. But one event does not define who you are. One thought does not define who you are. One emotion does not define who you are. You are the awareness that notices all of these experiences. Imagine watching a football match. You can enjoy the game. You can feel excitement. You can feel disappointment, but you are not the players on the field. You are the observer watching the game. The same applies to your inner world. Your emotions and thoughts are happening. But there is a deeper part of you that can simply observe them. This doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionless. It doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. Actually, the opposite is true. When you stop judging your emotions, you can experience them more fully. For example, if you feel sadness, many people immediately add another layer, I shouldn't feel sad. Something is wrong with me. Why can't I be happier? Now sadness becomes heavier. But if you simply say, sadness is present right now, something changes. You allow the emotion to exist without creating extra suffering around it. This is emotional freedom. You stop fighting yourself. You become more peaceful. The next time you experience a difficult thought or emotion, try this. Don't immediately react. Pause. Observe. Ask yourself, am I experiencing reality? Or am I experiencing my mind's interpretation of reality? That question alone can change your relationship with life. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. And once you learn to observe without judgment, you discover another powerful truth. Peace does not come from controlling everything around you. It comes from accepting what is already here. Lesson 6. Acceptance creates inner peace. Imagine standing outside during a rainy day. You look at the sky. This shouldn't be happening. The weather should be different. I don't want this. But does fighting the rain make it stop? No. The rain continues. The only thing that changes is your own experience of the moment. Life works the same way. Many things happen that we cannot immediately control. A difficult conversation. An unexpected change. A disappointing result. A mistake from the past. And the mind often responds. This shouldn't have happened. Why is this happening to me? I wish things were different. But according to Eckhart Tolle, much of our suffering comes from resisting what already exists. Acceptance does not mean you approve of everything. It does not mean you stop improving your life. It means you stop fighting reality as it is in this moment. Think about a doctor treating a patient. The doctor first accepts the reality of the situation. They don't deny the problem. They don't pretend nothing happened. They simply see clearly. This is where we are. Only then can they take the right action. Only then can they take the right action. Life works the same way. You cannot change a situation effectively until you first accept that it exists. Imagine someone losing their job. There are two possible reactions. The first person spends weeks thinking, this is unfair. My life is over. Nothing good ever happens. The second person also feels disappointed. They also experience uncertainty. But they accept. This happened. I cannot change the past. Now what can I do? The second person is not ignoring reality. They are working with reality. And that creates strength. Acceptance brings clarity. Resistance creates confusion. Because when you constantly fight what is happening, Your energy is focused on wishing reality was different. When you accept the moment, your energy becomes available for action. This is why acceptance is not weakness. It is a form of power. Think about a river. A river doesn't waste energy fighting every stone in its path. It flows around obstacles. It adjusts. It continues moving. Humans can learn the same lesson. Life will always contain uncertainty. There will always be things outside our control. But peace comes when we stop demanding that life always match our expectations. Many people tell themselves, I will be happy when everything goes according to my plan. But life rarely follows a perfect plan. The person who waits for perfect conditions waits forever. The person who learns acceptance can find peace even during imperfect moments. Remember, acceptance is not saying, I don't want anything to improve. Acceptance is saying, I can be at peace while I work toward improvement. That difference is powerful. Because you can have goals, dreams, and ambitions, while still being fully present with where you are today. And this leads us to the final and most powerful lesson of the book. After understanding your mind, accepting the present, and creating inner peace, one question remains. Where does true happiness actually come from? Is it something we will find in the future? Or has it been available all along? That is what we will discover in lesson number 7. Lesson 7. Real happiness exists only in the present. Imagine you finally achieve everything you always wanted. You have the dream job, the perfect house, financial success, the respect of others. For years, you believed, once I achieve these things, then I will finally be happy. But then something surprising happens. You achieve your goal. And after a few days, the excitement slowly disappears. Why? Because the mind quickly creates a new desire, a new target, a new thing to chase. And suddenly, the happiness you were waiting for moves into the future again. This is one of the biggest traps of the human mind. We believe happiness is somewhere ahead of us. After the next achievement. After the next purchase. After the next milestone. But Eckhart Tolle explains a powerful truth in The Power of Now. The present moment is the only place where true happiness can exist. Not because the present is always perfect, but because the present is the only moment you can actually experience. Think about a child. A child can spend hours playing with something simple. A small toy. A game. A moment with family. Why? Because children are naturally connected to the present. They are not constantly thinking, what happened yesterday? What will happen tomorrow? They are simply experiencing life. As we grow older, our minds become more powerful. But sometimes, we lose the ability to simply be present. We are eating, but thinking about work. We are walking, but replaying old memories. We are with people we love, but our attention is somewhere else. Life is happening, but we are missing it. Imagine watching a beautiful sunset. The colors are changing. The sky is peaceful. But instead of enjoying it, you are thinking, I need to take the perfect picture. I need to post this. I wonder how many people will like it. The moment disappears. Not because the sunset changed, but because your attention left the moment. This is what happens throughout life. We are always trying to capture experiences, instead of fully experiencing them. Eckhart Tolle teaches that peace does not come from adding more things to your life. It comes from removing the constant mental noise that prevents you from experiencing the life already in front of you. Think about a glass of water. If you keep shaking the glass, the water becomes cloudy. But when you place the glass down, the water becomes clear. The mind works the same way. Constant thinking creates confusion. Awareness creates clarity. This is why moments of silence can feel so powerful. Not because silence creates something new, but because it allows you to notice what was already there. The peace you were searching for was never completely outside you. It was hidden underneath the endless noise of the mind. Now, this does not mean you should stop having goals. Goals are important. Dreams are important. Growth is important. But there is a difference between working toward the future and sacrificing the present for the future. You can build your dream life without forgetting to live your current life. You can chase success without becoming a prisoner of achievement. Because the future is created by the choices you make today, not by constantly worrying about tomorrow. The most important moment of your life is not someday. It is now. This breath. This second. This experience. Because at this moment is where your entire life is happening. So, what have we learned today from the power of now? Lesson number 1. Your mind is not you. Lesson number 2. The present moment is all you truly have. The past exists only as memories. The future exists only as imagination. Life is happening right now. Lesson number 3. Stop fighting your thoughts. Lesson number 4. Most suffering is created by the mind. Many times, we don't suffer from reality itself. We suffer from the stories our mind creates about reality. Lesson number 5. Learn to observe without judging. Lesson number 6. Acceptance creates inner peace. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means seeing reality clearly, so you can respond wisely. And finally, lesson number 7. Real happiness exists only in the present. The life you are waiting for is already happening. The peace you are searching for begins when you learn to fully experience this moment. If today's video changed the way you think about life, then I highly recommend reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle yourself. This video only covers a small part of the wisdom inside this incredible book. The book goes much deeper into understanding your thoughts, your emotions, and how to experience a calmer, more meaningful life. I placed my affiliate link in the description below. If you decide to buy the book using that link, you will continue your learning journey while also supporting this channel at no extra cost to you. And if you want to understand yourself on a deeper level, this book is definitely worth reading. And before you leave, if you enjoyed this video, click the card on your screen right now for our video. 7 Lessons from Atomic Habits. Because understanding your mind is powerful, but building better daily habits is how you transform that understanding into real change. These 2 books work perfectly together. One teaches you how to master your inner world, and the other teaches you how to improve your daily actions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Every day, we break down the world's most powerful books into simple lessons you can actually apply in your life. No complicated explanations, no boring summaries. Just powerful ideas that helps you think better, live better, and grow every single day. So subscribe now and start your journey toward becoming a wiser version of yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Out of these 7 lessons, which one connected with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read as many comments as I can, and your experience might help someone else watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious. Keep learning. Keep growing. And I'll see you in the next video.